Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we are just a couple days removed from the release of Titans, and I feel pretty safe recommending 5 decks from both Standard and Wild that you can take and expect to climb with. Some will be a little bit stronger than others. I also threw in a bonus Standard deck just because I figure people will want to try it out. And as always, craft at your own risk. If you can like pick a deck where you're, just a couple cards away, do that. And if you feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like. It helps the channel out a ton. Taking a look at H's replay across all ranks, of course, I went by the, Diamond to Legend numbers, kind of picked the decks from there. We could see that Warlock is like the big winner so far of the set, going from sub 50 to plus 50. Of course, Hunter always up there, beaten up on the unrefined decks, but Rogue already above 50%. It was near the end, as Mech Rogue is pretty nuts. So let's get into those deck recommendations, starting with Standard and Warlock, one of the big winners. And there's basically 2 ways of going about Warlock that I'm seeing. You have Curse Warlock, and what I'm recommending, because it's got the big stuff, it's way more cool, the Undead Control Warlock, which it's got the same kind of cheese we saw last expansion with the Morphous Slime into your Flesh Behemoth or Thaddeus, and then you could cheat out like Sargeras, the awesome new Titan, for 1 mana, and letting you clear the board, get infinite imps with taunt. It's a rad card, plus he won us all those packs. You gotta respect him. Of course, Symphony of Sin's in there, but a lot of the new early game is what's putting the deck over the top. You've got the 4 mana 7/7 taunt, but the big standout is Forge of Wills, allowing you to copy a 4 mana 7, copy those stats that you're cheating out. All of a sudden, you're not reliant just on that one big scam. You have ways to kind of, stabilize in there. And you also have Chaotic Consumption, which just 1 mana, destroy a little token on your side, destroy something big on their side, right? There's some really good stuff in here. And of course, Mortal Eradication. Really solid deck. I'm sure it'll get further and further refined, but it feels like this is kind of that core in there. And of course, the one signature I'm still missing, Lokin, Jailer of Yogg-Saron, also incredible card and a really fun deck. Next, we have another deck that's doing really well. I've already seen a lot of complaints in my comments, so the deck is doing really well, which is the Sif Mage. This, by the way, nice signature. Hi, Rarin. You might want to open this one up. I got it in a freaking standard pack. Sif Mage, which, Sif gets spell damage for every spell school you played, so gets insane damage output. You have 1 copy of Elemental Inspiration for that board fill. I've seen people not run it at all. I've seen some people run Narganon, the new Titan. There's a lot of different versions. I went with the cheaper version that had the better win rate, so why not, right? You still have a lot of epics in here, of course. Volume Up's always really good. Wisdom of Narganon, the new card that gets discounted every spell school you played, so that could be 0 mana draw 2, and you're just generating a bunch of stuff with Discovery of Magic, with Prismatic Elemental, Molten Rune. You can use it, of course. You forge this and play it with Sif, do incredible damage. Same with Flame Geyser, same with the Arcane Bolts you get from your Arcane Worm, and of course you stall with the absolutely toxic Solid Alibi. People like to play this deck. They're also hating facing it. Classic Hearthstone in a nutshell, and it seems to be a good deck. The win rates are pretty high on it, and let's talk about it. Mech Rogue. There's so many different variations. There's no way this is totally refined yet. I've seen big scam versions that have the Death Rattle package that get that magnetic 7 drop that summons an 8 drop. You cheat that out, but the core seems to be Lab Constructor, as I predicted. Absolutely disgustingly good card. You can cheat it out early with a serrated Bone Spike and prep, of course, and just slap magnetics on it. You can set it up with the Spider, the 3 mana 3/4 magnetic with stealth. You can throw a Coppertail Snoop on it, get coins. But yeah, the basically Mimberon and Lab Constructor are the 2 big snowball. If these 3 minions aren't killed, you kind of win the game, and you can tutor them with your Pit Stop, cheat them out. And we're even seeing Gear Shift, seeing a lot of play. Even if you've dumped your hand, it's 1 mana draw 3, but cycling out, getting those key mechs that you really want. disgustingly good. I feel like it's going to get further and further refined, but the legendaries and epics of this deck are pretty much safe crafts already if you're looking at playing Mech Rogue. And I'm wondering if it's going to get nerfed, because I feel like this is only going to get better as time goes on, as it gets more refined. The list I hit legend with looks nothing like this, is way worse, and I still just clap people because I just played Lab Constructor and some Spark Bots. And when you're building even better around it, it gets a lot more nasty. So check that out. I'll go with basically a bit more basic recommendations. Big Beast Hunter, still doing really good. It does have new additions, in particular, always a bigger Juramonger, which is bugged, by the way. If you overkill the hero, say you deal 11 damage with King Crush, and that hero's at 9, it'll only do 2 damage. So that's a bug that they're trying to fix quickly. Be aware of that if you're going for those kind of lethals. But yeah, it's got the secret package. You got Titan Forged Traps in here, really solid new card. You have the Titan, of course, which I'm waiting on the diamond for to get that. That's why I don't have the golden. Please don't whale shame me for not having everything golden. And I haven't unlocked Prison of Yogg-Saron, which is in here as well, golden. That's on the paid rewards track. I haven't got quite to that level. This is definitely not a cheap deck, but a lot of the legendaries came from the prior set. We even got King Mukla in here. It's a fun deck, very expensive, but it's proven time and time again it's very powerful. Of course, Hollow Hound, always kind of the standout, creating that giant heal swing, and the deck's still doing really well, especially with the new addition. So it's not just the same old deck, and I have to recommend, of course, Relic Demon Hunter. Deck's broken, like it's still incredibly good. There's like, oh god, every time I see that, I gotta switch it out. That is just unacceptable. We put the good golden in there, but yeah, it's got like 2 new cards. Jotun's in here, as well as Argus, the Titan. They're incredibly good cards. Basically, the deck remains the exact same. Other than that, you're playing Relic Vault on 2. Hopefully, you're cheating out giant relics, copying value with your Fizzle. It hasn't changed a lot, but I have to recommend it. It's still super good. You'll note I don't have Control Priest on here or Blood Decay. Those are certainly viable picks too, but we could list decks forever, and I feel like you probably know how those decks operate. They're not running a bunch of new cards. Priest is like the new Titan, the new 2-mana Forge spell, and Deathlight in particular is running like the Forged Holy Spell Discover and the new Titan, which is working out pretty well. So if you want to try that out, and my bonus recommendation for Standard, this deck is like hovering barely around 50%, but it's really fun to play. I know people are really enjoying Plague Deathlight. This is like one of the better lists I found. It is built similar to the one I kind of had theory crafted with Magatha as your draw engine. However, Hollow Hound, I don't know why I didn't have that in there. It's always so good. It's got the frost elements though. You can run Thessarian. You can also run Hardcore Cultist, so that's pretty good. You got your early game with like Sidekick, but basically, yeah, you want to get plagues shuffled into the opponent's deck with Distress Cavaldier, the Staff of the Primus weapon, and always mulligan for hell yeah. Play this card on curve. She's great as long as your opponent actually draws the plagues, which, if you're like me, they never do. What the heck? Even if you try to run that forced draw card, which I don't recommend, it's not worth running. You can even get more plagues from like off Necrotic Mortician, and of course the Titan in here is so good. The Primus, love getting that blood effect, stealing that health, healing up, discovering cards, and Chain Guardian, good card to keep in your opener. Honestly, this comes out pretty quick and it's really nasty. So I thought I'd throw Plague Deathlight in there. I'm probably going to do an update video in like a week because the meta is changing so much. There's so many decks to talk about in Standard, that is. And well, let's talk about Wild, where things are like super degenerate right now. It's like play hyper aggro or get OTK'd. It's really crazy. So I'll try and make it as spicy as I can, but basically, you can play what you've been playing forever. It's gonna work. Like Secret Mage, this version at least has new cards, and the new cards are Inquisitive Creation, which utilizes, you have your Arcane Secret, your Fire Secret, and it kind of works, right? And you've got Nargadon in there. It casts a secret. It's probably not as optimal as just playing regular Secret Mage, but yeah, I think you'll do just fine with this regardless. And if you want to play regular Secret Mage, go for it. But yeah, cheat out secrets, stop your opponent from playing the game, cheat out massive stats, burn your opponent out. That can be very effective. Mech Paladin got a boost, of course, with some of the new cards in this most recent expansion. This isn't running the 4-mana aura, but I did note that, yeah, Mech Paladin's still really good. It's got the repair bot, drone deconstructor, noble mini bot, so some new cards in here, but overall it's just Mech Paladin. You want to get Radar Detector, you want to get Stonehearth Vindicator to get Radar Detector, play Mech Warper, Galvanizer, win the game. It's pretty effective. It cheats a lot of mana. You're going to note that you want to cheat a lot of mana. We have Shudderwalk Shaman, I believe, with like no new cards, because why would you bother? Yeah, it's Shudderwalk Shaman. The Murloc package hard carries where you play Scargill, rip through your deck, eat your opponent's hand, clear their board with Toxfin Flurgle, and then you have the ultimate endgame win condition with Shudderwalk, Astlors, all of that. Nothing new, nothing too exciting. Shard's a good tech for, like, you know, Kingsbane, Quest Druid, all those type of decks, but overall it's the same Shudderwalk. Nothing really changes with it. I will go with the two spicier decks at the end. We have Quest Mech Rogue. This was made by Getmeowth. He got Legend with it. I feel like a broken Quest Mech, or not even a Quest deck, a Mech Rogue deck will be found in Wild, because Mech Warper, Galvanizer, Mimiron, and those Spark Bots are just utterly broken. They're 0 mana. The Spark Bots are all 0 mana with that stuff, and you could just do absurd stuff like the Spark Bots. They just count for completing the quest, so you play from the scrap heap. That's basically your quest completed unless you bounce one. But yeah, if you have Quest Rogue and you enjoy that strategy, it's here to try out, and it's proven to be all right. But I feel like a Mech Rogue in Wild will emerge that doesn't rely on the quest. It's just broken, similar to the standard version, honestly, because the mechs are so good in Rogue. I can't believe these Rogue experts thought this stuff was going to be bad when it's probably the best stuff of the set. They're just used to cheating mana with other stuff, just not mechs. We saw it coming. Anyways, you could try that out. And the deck I played today to do some achievement hunting, and just, it's really gross. Frog OTK Shaman loses pretty hard to like Lotheb, Explosive Roots, and like a lot of those secrets and stuff. But I had multiple turn 3 OTKs with Spear of the Frog, OTK Shaman. You just play Flash of Lightning, Spirit of the Frog. All your spells are 0 and 1 mana. Bioluminescence becomes 2. You spam all your cards. You get Voltaic Burst, so you have tokens on the board to give Bioluminescence, and then you kill your opponent with 0 mana Crash of Thunders, Lightning Bolts, 1 mana Crackles. It's ridiculous, and you have Thorum in here to just rip through your deck. There's games on turn 4 I was fatiguing because I drew so many cards, and I was trying to complete the achievement for drawing 100 cards with Thorum. I got both things done. I won games. I just drew a bunch of cards, and really ridiculous, like, non-interactive games of this deck. Everything that's wrong with Wild, basically. And yeah, you could play this, you could try it out. I don't know if the win rate's super high on it, but the pop-offs and the crazy games are insane. And the usual suspects, again, in Wild are always good. Pirate Rogue, Kingsbane Rogue, Questline Druid, all the stuff I've recommended in prior videos. I just try to make it a tiny bit spicier possible. So there you go. 6 standard decks, 5 wild decks you can take and climb. Probably update you guys in maybe a week or so as things develop. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Good luck on your climbs. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.